I hope you guys have had a wonderful week. This is our last module, and this module is basically just the last week where you get everything caught up. I, this class is supposed to be something that adds a little bit of flavor to your university experience and helps you to see more things about the world. It is not intended as a super stressful class, so I don't want you guys to be stressed out of your gourds. But please do use this week to get caught up on the last couple of things that you need to do and to turn in stuff. It's been very nice to see several people who haven't done, for example, the attendance, have been doing that and turning it in. Everything right now that I've gotten up to this point has been graded. Please look at your Canvas thing. Please double check your emails. We need you, or it would be a really good idea to double check and make sure that you are up to date on everything that we have going on. It's particularly important to look at what your grades are, and I have put zeros on all the things that have not been turned in up to this point that are due. So again, the zero is to remind you that you need to go ahead and take care of that. I had asked for questions. I had emailed everybody about questions, and only a couple people have responded. So I'll go over those questions really quick, and we'll talk about what to expect for our finals week. I wanted to share with you a couple things that I'm seeing. I am very impressed. Some of the things that are really difficult for people to get a handle on are things like surrealism, cubism, and Dada, as well as abstraction. And a lot of people historically have had a very difficult time doing the PowerPoints. I am really impressed with how well everybody is getting onto into the surrealism exercise. I've seen some really good things, and whether or not you like surrealism after that exercise, I've been very impressed with everybody being able to articulate exactly why they do or don't like it. And several people have said, I can't stand surrealism. I don't see how it's really valid from my perspective, but I really do appreciate the effort that goes behind the artist's work in doing that. I think that's really good. Plato said that the sign of an intellectual mind, a real healthy mind, is the capacity to be able to understand other people's perspectives, whether or not you share them. And I really am seeing that on a lot of the work that you're doing. And I think that's a mark that you guys are really good thinkers and really understand how to think critically and with intention about something, and then be able to articulate what you're talking about. I've read a lot of people's writings as they do critique on other people's submissions, as well as some of the things that I've had to look at over the term. And I'm pretty impressed with how everybody is able to articulate their thoughts. That is really good. Abstraction is a particularly difficult assignment for a lot of people. And I've been impressed with how well everybody has just embraced it. Whether or not you feel like you're doing a good job, I see that people are really trying hard, and they're trying hard to get it. And that's really nice. If you have struggling a little bit, look at the rubric as well as the assignment closely. You'll notice that you get points for doing things that are not easily recognizable forms. That's what we're looking at. Another one I see people having an issue with that I think is kind of ironic a little is the painting from life that's supposed to be done in an impressionist style. Remember when we looked at Van Gogh and a couple of the other impressionist artists, they would paint with dabs of paint. They would kind of sketch and keep it a little bit sloppy, make sure that there's a painting texture on it. And the problem that I'm seeing with the people that are turning in stuff, they're not happy with the points they're getting, is that you are painting a little bit too nicely. This is not supposed to be something that it looks like what you're looking at. And the problem I'm seeing, which I think is probably a good problem to have if you want to be an artist, is that everybody's trying really hard to make it look like the actual object that you're painting. And that's That's not what we're going for. And so when I grade it down a little bit, I'm also putting notes on saying just use the painting that you have, dab over it a bit, dab over it, and sloppy it up a little bit, make it look like some of those examples of Impressionist painting that we saw. Now, of course, I'm using the word sloppy because that's an easy shorthand. What we're actually looking for is more energy and energetic application of paint or color that is not reflective of realism. And again, that's the problem people are having. They're making their banana or their apple or whatever it is a little bit too realistic. So use the paint that you've already have, if you still have it, and just dab over it some more if you didn't get a really high score on that. Another thing that I'm seeing is that with the PowerPoints, people have been doing an exceptionally good job. Now, everybody who's a student at Utah Tech should have access to the PowerPoint program. That's, from what I read, that is part of the student package when you're here. You have license to use it while you're here. In the PowerPoint program itself, and I believe it's either the 7th or the 9th header over from the left, there's a place where you can record your narration right into the PowerPoint. And most people are able to do that, and it's just fine. I also included in that assignment several videos to go to. There were a couple people I'm particularly impressed. I will just name her. Kennedy was having a huge, massive struggle, and she's about ready to throw in the towel when she got the brilliant idea to just record it on her phone. And I've asked other people, consider that. If you're having a hard time, what she did is had the slides on her computer and then just recorded everything in her phone as she was talking about the slides. So that's a great way to solve that problem. She sent me the video and I put it up on the YouTube channel for the class. I've also had people who struggling, they opened up a Teams call. One person even did it with Zoom in another class and recorded that whole thing. It was a call to no one basically except for themselves, but they did use the share the screen feature, shared their PowerPoint as they went through it, and then just recorded them talking. If your microphone isn't working, that's going to be a hard thing to do, and you can use the phone hack for that. So again, if you didn't get all the points for that, most likely it was because it only came through the system, the Canvas system, as a PowerPoint or in another format. One student sent in a video format that my computer had absolutely no idea what to do with, and I just need that to be resolved into a different video format. The .mov or the I forget what it's called. It's the one with the 4 in the title. If you have any doubt as to what kind of file format to use, I would go into YouTube, look up uploading files, and see which one that they can upload. It's MOV, Wave is another one, and there is a third one that has a number 4 in it. I can't remember off the top of my head what it is. I'm sure that as we go on tonight, right before I sign off, I'll remember what it is. Sorry, that's going to bother me now. But there are a couple really simple. And one person was not able to do that. They opened up another video sharing platform, recorded it directly to that platform, and then sent me the link. And that works really well too. I think Vimeo is a good one. The one that they sent me, I'd never heard of before, but it worked really well too. So that's a couple different ways to get that done. I wrote a letter the other day because to everybody, I think it was Monday night, I was grading and I was getting kind of frustrated because I noticed that several reflections were written in the language of one of the chat AI word programs. And that's particularly frustrating because a reflection is supposed to be your own idea and thoughts. The universe has spent 17 billion years getting everything in place for you to be born and preparing everybody for you to be here. So avoiding the use of your own voice, avoiding the use of your own perspective, and using a chat or an AI program instead is really depriving the rest of us of your unique perspective. You're here for a reason. You have your own perspective, and you should be using it. And in the university setting as well, anytime you turn something in or take credit for something that is not your own work, regardless of whether that's done by a machine, a computer program, or somebody else, it is considered cheating. And there's this class, admittedly, is pretty low stakes. It's a beginning level class, and a lot of the times the grade reflects the fact that I'm just happy that you were able to do the assignment. But it's a serious enough thing that if it does read as chat or an AI program, I will put a 0 on there and ask you to submit something that you've written yourself. And sometimes that is an understanding. I am neurodiverse. I am on the spectrum. And so sometimes I will say things that are not, they don't come across as politely as I intend. And I'm very sorry for that if anybody's feelings are hurt when I'm critiquing something. But one student was very nice with me. She said that she's actually uses templates to help her organize her thoughts. And every once in a while, when she's in a hurry, she doesn't remember to remove all the prompts. And so, and that's, once she explained it to me, she resubmitted it without the prompts. She cleaned up the paper a little bit, and it was perfectly fine. One of the reasons why the AI writing programs sound good is that instead of thinking, because it's not a thinking machine, what it does is it correlates data and puts words into groupings that are statistically non-anomalous, which means that when you put in subjects and things like that, it will write out something for you using very complicated algorithms where it finds the statistical frequency of word groupings, as opposed to trying to teach you anything or giving you any sort of answer, an actual answer. I can see that it's a chat program because if I'm asking you, for example, to write down 3 things you learned from the Teams meeting for that module, and I get something that just talks about the things in the module, like Dada or Surrealism or Cubism, then I know it's pretty good, either that you didn't read and respond to the right prompt, you didn't watch the Teams recording, and you're just spouting what you read in the module, or you typed in some of the keywords from the module and had the word AI write something up for you. If I'm asking for a reflection, you need to look at what it is that you're reflecting about. For example, Crux of the Renaissance, you are looking at the 2 paintings and comparing them. You're not giving me a history of the Renaissance. You're not giving me a history of pre-Renaissance. You are telling me, well, the painting from before the Renaissance has these features that I noticed, and the painting after the Renaissance or during the Renaissance has these features. These are the similarities and these are the differences. That's the kind of thing I'm looking for, not a regurgitation of what the Renaissance is. If I'm asking for a reflection on your feelings about contemporary artists, I don't want the chat program to tell me what contemporary art is. I already know that. What I am looking for is how you feel about it. Which artist is your favorite? Which artist is your least favorite? Is there one of those that you don't think is art at all? And if there is something that you don't think is art at all, explain it. That's not something that a chat or word program can use. If you want to use like Chat GPT or something like that, that is perfectly fine. If you use it as a rough draft to kind of correlate thoughts, that's totally fine. But when you do your own thing, when you do your summation paragraphs and your reflection paragraphs, you need to write as your own voice. You're a unique individual. You have your own perspective that I want to hear. And that's why you need to use your voice instead of something else's. I think that in maybe the next 20 years, we'll get to a point where we can hold a conversation with a machine intelligence. But right now, the writing AI programs that are accessible, again, they share what is statistically non-anomalous. They share what the statistical word groups are. instead of thinking through the thing and processing information and sharing with us the information. I was hoping to have questions for the assignment. I didn't get a lot of emails. One was the resolution about the PowerPoints. That was taken care of. A couple people have had issues with getting onto the, remember the one where we talk about assignment world art, where you get on, you put in art that you found from 3 different countries. A couple people have had issues with passwords. I would refresh everything in your machine, in your computer, and make sure that you type the password in exactly like it is. Make sure that if you're copying and pasting, you don't add an extra space. Sometimes when you're copying a password for an assignment like this, your computer may accidentally add a space to it. So make sure that that didn't happen. And one of the students that was having a bit of an issue said that they just did what you always hear, turn on and off the computer, and everything was fine and it worked just perfectly. I wanted to reiterate that everything is due on Friday, May 5th. That's important, and I see a lot of people taking advantage of that, and that's great. As I said, everything is graded up to now. So if you're missing an assignment, there's a 0, and you'll see on the percentage of what your grade is. And I wanted to go over 6 really simple ways to quickly get your grade up. The first one is retake or take quizzes. A couple people have said that they weren't able to retake a quiz. They let me know which quizzes those were, and I went through and fixed that. Every single quiz now is retakeable. So if you didn't get a perfect score, a really easy way to get a perfect score is to retake the quizzes. Second, attendance. There right now will be 14 Teams meetings that you're responsible for watching. Easiest way to get the attendance is go through and watch them while you're doing something else. If it's your turn to do dishes in the apartment, or if you're doing anything else that, lazy around, decompressing after a particularly harrowing class or anything like that, listen to the Teams meeting and then write down 3 of the things that you learned from it. I think one of the funnier responses I got is from the Teams meeting a week or 2 ago, where my table started collapsing, and somebody said they saw that I was able to fix the table with one arm, and that was one of the things I learned. And that's perfectly fine. The reason for that is not to tell me 3 things you learned in the module, because a couple people did that, and I said it doesn't count for attendance. It's 3 things that you learned watching that particular Teams meeting. There were a couple people sent in chat GPT responses for that, just a short paragraph. Again, I know that that's what it is because they are statistically non-anomalous groupings of words about the subject of that module, and they had nothing to do with what I actually talked about in the Teams meeting. So watching the Teams meeting, watching the extra video, if there is one for extra credit, all those are super easy things to do that you can get extra points with. The third one is revisiting and resubmitting an assignment. One of the most common ways points are missed is because you forgot something in the assignment description, you went through it and didn't include it. I'll give 2 examples. One is for the annotated bibliography. A lot of people missed a few points on that simply because they forgot to add, after the citation, the phrase accessed on and then the date. Another thing that people miss points on is because they didn't follow the MLA formatting, or they forgot to alphabetize the citations. Those are really easy fixes. So some people didn't read all the way through and didn't write the 2 paragraphs. They only wrote 1 paragraph. So those are really easy fixes. Some of the other things are the list of artists that you're supposed to do in Module 3. A few people forgot to write down which artists they picked to do their future work on. Further on in that, and I think it was module 6 where I asked you to find 10 sources. People did that, and then they forgot to write the paragraph that said how long it took and what search engines they used. So and in studio assignments, it's the same kind of thing, where you'll do the studio assignment and then you'll forget one of the elements from the assignment description. And I've written, if you've missed points, or I usually will say something along the lines of, for more points, go back and do this, because that's from the assignment description. So that's a really easy thing to do. And probably one of the easiest ones is to actually submit everything that you've done. I mentioned next Friday, May 5th, because that's the last day to turn everything in. I think next semester I will start docking points for people turning things in late, but that's not the case for this term. You guys are all really super lucky. You can turn everything in. And like I said, several people are taking advantage of that. And what I notice is they have their assignments in groupings, and I'll see from one student, they turn in all the reflections. Then a little while later, they turn in all the attendance things. And that's perfectly fine. That's great. Turn in what you've done. One of my students had a D plus. He got concerned. He asked what he could do. And I said, well, just turn in the stuff that you did. He did that. And over the next 3 or 4 days, he turned everything in and ended up getting an A minus. That's how big of a difference it was, just because he did not turn stuff in. Another issue that's really easy to fix is if the assignment is not in the right format and my computer can't read it. Everybody that I've said to, said, I'm sorry, my computer doesn't read HEIC files, please send it in like a JPEG or a PDF, turned around and done that, sometimes within minutes, and then they can get their grade. That is a super easy way to fix it. Again, it's MP4 is the other. So it's WAV, MOV, or WAV, WM, or .mov, and MP4. Those are the 3 big files for videos. Sorry, I told you it would come to me in the middle of nothing else. If my computer can't recognize or see it, then I can't give you a grade. So that's an super easy fix. A couple students have sent zip files, and for whatever reason, my system is not accepting and opening those. And so they turned right around and just sent a series of JPEGs, and that was perfect. Then the sixth thing, easy way to fix grades, is just double check to see if I saw your resubmission. If you resubmit something and your grade hasn't changed, let me know right away. Several people have done that. I've been able to get back to them quickly, and we've been able to fix that. So I'm this week, as soon as I see stuff, I'm dropping what I'm doing and grading it as soon as I can, so that everybody knows exactly where they're at. Another thing I wanted to mention is some people are turning in their Sugiata or old Mali Empire things. When you build something that didn't exist in the Mali Empire but should have. And I'm seeing some really, really cool stuff. So make sure you get that done as well. Now, I know that everybody's wondering, what is our final going to be like? I hope that I've stressed enough that the final is absolutely vital for everybody to do. You need to do the final. If you don't do the final, according to the department mandate, you will be docked a whole grade. And that sucks. Now, unlike other classes that you're taking, the final is not going to be a test. There's no proctored test. What it is, I'm going to be basically sending this to everybody a Sunday night. So you have it when you wake up bright and early Monday morning. And I'm asking you 4 questions that you're going to have to answer. And these 4 questions, each one, you're going to write a paragraph response, 35 to 50 words at least. And those questions may be something like, what was the biggest insight that you gained from the class? Or what was the biggest surprise out of everything? Was there anything that you saw that you just could not stand? And then after you tried the studio exercise, you thought, oh, wow, that's really good. Is there artwork that you didn't think was art that now you think it is? Or conversely, is there something that people are labeling art that you thought was art that now you're convinced is garbage? You know, questions like that. What is your biggest challenge? What was your greatest success? And I will pick 4 questions from a list like that, and I will send the same 4 questions to everybody. If you submit a chat or AI word program instead of a reflection, then you'll get a 0 on that. And it's super easy. Just go back and resubmit it. Resubmit it with your own writing. I don't want anybody to submit anything with the AI word program. Again, you can use that as a rough draft as long as you rewrite it in your own words. But since this final that you're taking from my class is entirely self-reflective, it's going to be a massive waste of your time if you try to use anything like ChatGPT or any of the AI word programs. If you admitted, like I said before, this class is pretty low stakes for that. But if you think that ChatGPT or the AI word processing is something you can get away with, and you think, oh, this is a good way for me to avoid work and thinking, that is going to be really sad, and that's going to hurt you over the next few years as you go to university. One of the biggest benefits of a university or college education is how it teaches you how to think, how to process information, how to do research, and how to use your cognition skills in a critical or intentful way. If you give that over to something else, which does not think, the chat programs are not designed to give you answers. They're designed to share with you statistical um, groupings of words, and that's it. Not using your faculties to think through a problem or a situation, not using your cognitive abilities to describe or analyze, will make future work in the academic setting very problematic for you. And if becomes a high stakes issue, and your habit is to use the chat or AI word programs, that can be detrimental even to your being in the university at all. Um, there have been students who have been expelled from other universities around the country for doing that and claiming it's their own work. So I want you to think about that. The final is going to be 4 questions, each of them 35 to 50 words, self-reflection, and you'll turn that in. And again, it has to be in before Friday at midnight. So I'll be here. I will, as soon as I see those in, I'll grade them. I'll make sure they're down. If you've turned it in and it's been a few hours and you see that I haven't graded what you've turned in, drop me an email. I really don't mind. I have had students before where they're 3 months late on an assignment, and at the same time they turn it in, they ask me, why haven't you graded it yet? It's really irritating. I need to know. Waiting a couple hours is perfectly fine. But when next week, as soon as I see stuff, I will grade it as rapidly as possible so that you know that I got it. And if you don't see it, email me. If you don't see that I graded it, email me and let me know that you haven't seen it so I can do that. I also wanted to mention too, I forgot earlier, if you resubmit something, the Canvas system, depending on, I don't know if it's dependent on the sampling rate or if it's dependent on the algorithm or what, it doesn't always tell me when somebody resubmits something. So if you've resubmitted something and I haven't gotten to it this week, let me know right away so I can make sure and grade that. So tonight, as soon as you can, go through, make sure that all your assignments that you've turned in have been graded, see what you have left, and then as you turn stuff in, look at your grade go up as you get more and more points. I put all the videos of PowerPoints that I received on our YouTube channel. This is Art 1010, Section 41. So you should be able to see that there. And if you submitted yours in a video format rather than a link, then you should see that up there too. And I will continue to do that as long as the PowerPoint videos come in. If you're having issues getting stuff done and you don't think you're going to be able to get everything done by Friday, I think first, let me know what's going on. And second, talk to the accommodations office and see how they can help. The reason I say that is that sometimes at other universities that I've taught at, when there are extenuating circumstances, like surgeries and sickness and things like that, they can have me hold off grading for a bit to give you time to turn stuff in. I don't know if that's a policy for this university, but at the very least, you'll know what kinds of options you have. So if you're starting to get stressed and you think you can't make it, talk to them right away and let me know that you've contacted them and you're looking forward to hearing from them. And I'm happy to do whatever I can to help you so that you can succeed in this class. Again, the final needs to be done. It is a significant, it's a significant assignment that is vital to your grade. And that is due midnight, as everything else is due midnight, May 5th. I think Canvas has it as 11:59, and that's fine. Everything is due then. So use this weekend, use this next week and a half to do everything you possibly can to get everything done. Or if you don't have all the points you want on quizzes and stuff like that, retake them and resubmit them. Now, I think that's everything that I absolutely needed to go over. If you have any other questions, you may just have to email me. But before you email me questions, I want you to carefully read over the assignment description again. One thing that has been very helpful to me in this class is that all of you, if you see a discrepancy, for example, between the rubric and the assignment, you let me know. This class was designed by Brian Azel, and his artwork, he's an excellent painter. His work right now is in the hallway in front of the Sears Gallery and on campus. It's in that the art building. There's a theater and music performances there and stuff like that, and a lot of the arts offices. And there's also up right now an exhibit that has artwork from the art professors as well in it. So you can go see his stuff. But the reason I mentioned his name, he's the one that designed this class. I'm formatting it for an online setting. If there's things that don't make sense or don't fit between the assignment description and the rubric, you guys have been very good to let me know, and so I can fix that. Or if there are things that don't make a lot of sense or are being called for that are impossible to do, also you guys have been letting me know, and I really appreciate that. One thing that I was disappointed in is I thought I'd set up the peer review thing just fine, and that did not work for anybody. And don't worry about that. There's 5 points in that assignment that's for the peer review. Everybody's getting that 5 points regardless of whether or not you do a terrible job on the rest of the assignment. Now the discussions, they do work on these last couple assignments, they do work. You have a couple discussions that are really important. One is your PowerPoint. After you turn in your PowerPoint, somebody is coming over to help. Our house flooded. So right now my wife is helping coordinate people moving the appliances out of the kitchen. And when I'm done here, we'll start tearing up the floor. That's gonna be so much fun. But if you hear a chorus of dogs, that's because they're greeting the people that are coming to help. There's a couple discussions that are really important to do. One is the discussion after you finish your PowerPoint. You submit your PowerPoint and one assignment, and you go to the discussion, and you can use the link that I give you after I put your PowerPoint up on YouTube. A couple people have been able to just upload their video directly to the discussion platform, and that's great. You can do that too. And a couple other people have been able to uh, upload the video themselves onto a video sharing platform and put that link on. And all of those are fine. If anything that works is going to be great. You need to put that on there, then follow the directions for commenting on one other person's PowerPoint. And if you do, that's worth a total of 20 points. If you do one or the other, then I will, and I see it, I'll just put in the points for the portion of that you do. And then just to remind you in a comment, please make sure that you let me know when you do the second portion so you can get all your points. If you see that you have put up your comment and I gave you 10 points and then you put up the video and you haven't gotten the 10 points yet for that, let me know right away so I can make sure and correct that. And the next discussion that's really important is after you do your Sundiata project or the Old Mali Empire project, you're going to submit images of that to me with all the other stuff, following the assignment, following the directions, making sure you've got everything there. And then you're going to submit one photo of your project onto the class discussion so everybody can see it. And that way we'll have kind of our own virtual show for the projects that people do. If you have any questions or concerns about any of the assignments, let me know as soon as you possibly can so I can help you get those answers that you need. And even though I'm doing a couple of sections of this class, the videos that I do are not the same all the time. You can go to the playlist for section 40 and look up the same week's video that I did for that class and maybe get some more information or some different overlap for that. I think I've covered everything that I really had to. I do want to iterate one more time, though, that if you're missing points, go through that email that I sent you, I think it was yesterday, and go down that list of 6 things. Did I turn in everything? Did I follow the directions? Did I write down the 3 things I learned during the Teams meeting? Different things like that. Make sure that you get all that covered, and then let me know that you've done assignments. And several of you have even emailed me after you turned in half a dozen things and say, hey, would you please check to make sure that you have these 6 assignments and grade them as soon as you can. And that really helps because then I know I can tell which ones Canvas isn't telling me are resubmitted. The Canvas is usually really good, and I think 90% of what you guys resubmit makes it through perfectly fine, if not more. But I want you guys to make sure that everything is graded that you turn in so you get all the points that you deserve and get the highest grade possible. This class, again, is, and I am committed to your success as a student. So if there's any way that I can help, let me know. And if there's any possible thing that I can do that would help, I will do it. As long as it's within the university rules, I'll be happy to do whatever I can to help you get the highest grade you can. All right. I hope you guys have an absolutely wonderful week and a half until the end of finals, and I hope you have a great time going through finals and make sure that you get all your classes done. Everything's great. Before I say goodbye, I did want to share one nightmare that I've had. When I was in my second year at BYU, I had signed up for a C+ computer programming class. I completely forgot about it. They emailed me, or we got the little notes of our final times. And that week before final, that's when I found out that I had registered for this class that I forgot about. And it was the sickest feeling I'd ever had. So I took the F and I re-registered and I took the class again right away the next semester. And I got an A in it. But I don't want anybody to do that with any of their classes. I sincerely hope you remember everything that you need to do and you take all the finals that you're supposed to do and you get the highest scores possible on every final. Again, the final for this class, I will email that. I will email that you sent. I sent it out, and I will upload it on Sunday night, so everybody has that. You have all week to work on it and turn it in until 11:59 Friday, May 5th, and that's also when all the other assignments are due as well. Thank you so much. If you have any questions, email me. But again, I'm grading everything as soon as it comes in, as soon as I see it. Thank you so much for being in this class. It's been an absolute joy to have you. And I love seeing what you guys are making. Thank you.